Sounds like youth and development is something that's really key to the programme, and I think you mentioned earlier, if you talk a little bit more about the development side of things with the women's side, it's pretty exciting times, isn't there? There's now a pathway building.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and when I first came in, I've said it a number of times, probably said it 14 months ago when I sat down with Luke in the same place, that we needed to build a development side. We had 5-6 players at the start of last season, and I remember we went away to Sporting Calsa. I think it was my first game as goalkeeper coach, working under Annie at the time, and we played Calsa with a bare 11. They went off the pitch and another team come on in Calsa's kit. I remember turning around to a defender and saying, who's this other team? And she was like, oh, that's their development team. So how are we? How? No disrespect to Sporting Calsa, they're a great club, but how are Solihull Moors having a threadbare 11 and no development team? So when Alex came in with the new board and asked me to take over, I said, one of the key things is that we have a development team, because we lost an under-18 side because they didn't see a pathway to the first team when I first got here. So having a national, obviously we're 4th tier, National League, it's a very high standard, so to expect an under-16s team to be able to integrate into National League, it's a big ask for them. So to be able to have that halfway house with a development team is key. So, and Ant Hasker, who runs the under-16s, he's been able to find new players to bring in now because they know that there's steps to get into the National League team. So it's been great, and Alex has implemented the tiny techers to the Wildcats, and we've got age groups all the way up to the first team now. So I'm delighted with that, and I know everyone around the women's section of the club is as well, because that's what we was hoping for.
Yeah, that must be really pleasing to see that there is a chance that young players can develop here, play their football, and then if they're on the right path, actually make it into the first team. That must be a real kind of almost inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. And mine and Josh, my assistant's background is from youth and junior football, so to be able to bring youth players through is brilliant. I'd love for 75% of the first team to be from the youth teams. That would be fantastic. But like I said, being a National League team, it's not always the case to be able to do that. But having that development team, it gives them that chance to be able to kind of progress, find their level, and it gives them an extra couple of years to see whether they can step into National League, and if they can't, then we'll be active to go and find them a regional league club that they could go and play for.
Yeah, and you seem very kind of on board with giving youth a chance. As you mentioned previous this season, you've got a lot of youthful players in the squad. What are your aspirations this year? You mentioned trial and error, but what do you realistically think you can achieve?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I'm not naive enough to think that we're going to win the league. You've got a team like Wolves in there, which, with the resources that they get from their club, which is fantastic. I've said a few times that we kind of need to copy some of the structure they have in place, and even with the photo shoot, we joined the men and the women's team for the new kit launch, and that's something that Wolves do. Wolves try and incorporate their women's team into all sorts of things and give them lots of funding. So yeah, it's kind of copying, going out, having a look around, not just being insular in what we're doing, going and looking at other clubs and seeing how they run and taking the best bits and bringing it in. And like I said, I'm not naive enough to think we're going to win the league, but I think we could definitely finish top 6, top 5. The girls are fantastic footballers individually. It's whether they can bring it all together and work together as a team so quickly. I could see us finishing top 5. We're not going to be in a relegation battle this season, I'm sure of that. And that's already a big step from last year.
I was going to say that's progress in itself, isn't it? And talking to progression, how important do you think it is that you mentioned the kit launch, that the lads and the girls came together? Do you think that's really important with a club moving forward such as Moors to really embrace kind of the equality aspect of everything.
Yeah, when I was speaking to Luke last year, I remember saying that it's nice to be a part of such a progressive club, and that's just showing through. I know Darryl, the chairman, and Alex, the women's chairman, are very keen on integrating the community into the club and being a community club, and everything that I've kind of asked for to kind of catapult the women, like I said, follow teams like Wolves, take their lead and carry it on. They've done everything that I've suggested and asked for. So yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, to be honest, and neither can the girls. They get everything that a tier 3 side do, and some tier 2 sides.
Yeah, I mean that's brilliant to hear. And in terms of a message for the fans this season, what can they expect from the girls in terms of on the field style of play?
Well, style of play, I don't want to give too much away, but I think we've locked down a very good style of play, and we carried it on from the end of last season, bringing in some players, brought some players from championship sides, from tier 3 sides, and obviously that helps your style of play, doesn't it? But what me, Josh, Piers, Aaron, all the coaching staff look for is to play through the thirds, to be comfortable on the ball, to attack, to get bodies forwards, and so yeah, the fans, they're going to see some good football next season, and I'm really pleased with the first couple of games we've got at home, because I think we'll go out on the front foot and it will be exciting football. And like we should get quite a few fans next season. We implemented the season tickets this year, which is the first year we've done it, and we've had great uptake on it. We sold around 60, I think. So that was, I'm really pleased with that. We've given away probably about 60 complimentary tickets to youth and junior players, to sponsors. So yeah, it's been a great uptake.
That's great to hear, especially the season tickets. I think it's a brilliant idea to encourage more people to come down, and wish you luck for the rest of the season.